Lords and ladies, check it out. This is a Moon JJ4. What a smart, classy bass it is indeed. This one is from the late 80s. It came to me last weekend, and it was in a state of disrepair at that point. I confirmed that the pickups were working just fine. They were working. The pickups were working just fine. I could get output on those, but the circuit was intermittent. It hadn't been played for decades, obviously, and the action was like this high. It was like set up for the Incredible Hulk or something. And the relief on the neck was way too much. It just hadn't been used, and it hadn't been stored in a good place. So I think a lot of humidity had got to it at some point, and the strings had rusted as well. And I think that's partially why the circuit was in a bit of a state. So what I did was I took it all apart, cleaned it, oiled up the truss, and then I tweaked the truss, which was working fine. You know, I have a lot of faith in the builds of these things. They're rugged. They're not gonna, you know, the wood itself, the body itself, and the neck itself is not gonna be affected badly by the weather over here, which is very humid in the summer, and very dry in the winter. But so I had a lot of faith that the neck is just going to be fine, and it was. So I got the relief. The good thing about Moon is basically just you can turn the truss rod all the way and get the perfect relief on the fretboard for you. It's just gonna set up really nice. And yeah, I adjusted the saddles and everything. Saddles could go right down. So now it's at its optimum, which is about 1.5 millimeters. Yeah, it's lovely. And right now I'm playing on the rear pickup with the tone right down. You can probably hear that rear pickup tone. It's really nice. Really nice on the rear pickup, with the tone right down, then with the tone up. So, and then midway. Really good. Really good indeed. Okay, let's go on to balanced anyway. So the circuit on this, basically you've got two pickup volume controls, your main tone, and then you've got a pickup selector switch, and also on the tone you have basically it cuts all of the bass and all of the treble and just leaves the mid. So you get this, it's this nasal honk sound, which is really nasal. and that only works when you're in balanced mode. I'll show that to you in a bit. First, let's deal with balanced mode and just play some slap. Alright, that's with the tone full up, balanced. Tone down. Right. So that's the kind of tone you get all the way down, and then midway. So that's nice, very nice indeed. And then on the front pickup, similarly. Yeah, that's front pickup, tone midway, tone right down. All the way up. You can hear vast difference. Yeah, so that's how that sounds for balanced mode, front pickup there. You've done the rear pickup. Now let's go to that nasal mode I was talking about. So basically, when you're balanced, you pull this up, and it cuts all the bass, and it cuts some of the treble as well. So you get this nasal sound. Which is kind of insane. Great for I don't know what you'd use it for actually. Soloing or it's very interesting, this mode, and it doesn't seem to affect the front pickup though. That's the same in both modes, and the rear too. Oh, slightly. It slightly lifts the tone on the rear pickup somehow. There is a subtle difference there. So I'd say it's probably a mid booster switch for the rear pickup. But when you're in balanced mode, it's the nose tone, man. Insane. That's nuts. So it's a crazy bass with a lot of functionality for a passive bass, which is fantastic. This one's not particularly heavy. This one's about 4.3 kilograms. Some of them were pretty damn heavy, near a 5 of this era. And the other thing I should mention as well is that I strung this with STR strings. I'm now going to stock STR strings because they're really, really good. These are round wound nickels, regular gauge 45s, and yeah, I really like the response. They feel quite similar to the Elixir nanowebs. I don't think they have nanoweb coating though, but they feel very comfortable indeed. They just yeah, there's no stickiness to them, you know what I mean? Some strings have this kind of stickiness. Not these though, they're very smooth. I'm impressed. Love them. I'll be stocking more. I'll be stocking those. The only weird thing about them is they don't come wound, they come straight in a long packet. I'll be posting some photos and stuff anyway soon on my Facebook page. I might get round to updating the website as well, but the Facebook page is really the go-to place if you want to get kind of up-to-date news on what's going on here with Base Japan Direct and stock that I'm getting in. So there you go, that's the Moon JJ4, newly freshly strung with STR flat wounds, and yep, I've taken pains to really service this bass because it was in a state. I replaced one of the pots. The rear pickup volume pot was shot, so it was intermittent, so I replaced that, and I've been studying my soldering and stuff, and I'm getting much better at it, so now I can conduct repairs without any problem. This one's gone very well, and I've done a pretty tidy job of the soldering, if I do say so myself. So you know, I'm loving it. I'm loving getting in these old relics and, you know, bringing them back to life, you know. And I have to say a lot of thanks to you know, Deviser and Dragonfly for letting me go to their factory or their workshop and see the process and ask advice and stuff. I've learned a lot from them, so yes, I'm looking forward to getting another one of these in. So you know, watch this space. This one